Hey guys, Kevin Cage back with another cryptocurrency update. Welcome to the channel. Like and subscribe if you're serious about the digital asset space. And let's get right into it today. One take and uncut. We are going to be talking about Chainlink and their token Link, L-I-N-K. This is on my second channel, so be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And let's get right into the information today. So as we can see here, just to kick things off with a little hopium, some excitement, what would the price of Chainlink be if, and this was shared by Timo Herrings here on Twitter. And as we can see, guys, in terms of crypto market cap in the green, and then we can see Link dominance in terms of Chainlink's market share of this market. And as we can see, the price, I mean, it's a wide spectrum from 74 cents all the way up just over to $25,000 on the very high end, at least in terms of, 45% market share. Now, understand this, guys. There's going to be many successful projects in the space. There's not going to be one winner. They're going to complement many, just like during the dot-com bubble and the internet of information, internet of data. With this internet of value, this transfer, I should say, towards digital assets, there's many use cases, one of which is decentralized oracles getting, valid information, network integrity, things of that nature. Now, of course, I am a bull on my main channel for XRP, but this is another clear winner that I see having high probability for winning. Now, before we get into prices and, expectations and kind of the technology, understand none of this is financial advice. Please do your own research, question everything I am sharing with you, and I will have some video or links in the top of this video description. So I kind of wanted to go over Link. I've been a holder for quite some time. I've been trading it even before it was on Coinbase last summer, but really haven't gotten into too much depth of the technology. Now, that's what I kind of want to start to do. So keep that in mind, guys. I'll be speaking high level for the most part, and I'm going to continuously be doing my own research. So one thing this morning that really caught my attention to is a fellow person on Twitter here in the XRP community as well, and a huge Chainlink advocate and Ethereum advocate, is Barry Curley. And one thing he said, and I'm just going to read it verbatim before getting into the topics today, is he said, many blockchains, all with smart contract offerings, that exist, of course, today. There's many cryptocurrencies, there's many oracle providers, centralized and decentralized. And here's what his 3+ years in the space have, got him thinking. XRP will, of course, be for moving money across borders, is that bridge asset, and potentially even more than that, especially with, the derivatives market, as we always talk about. And then Ethereum, for example, for enterprise-level blockchain adoption, right? And then Link, with Chainlink, makes dumb blockchains smart. They all have competitors. They all have large enough moats that would be difficult for any real competition to surface. All will win in their respective areas and all complement versus compete with each other. And I thought that was really well said. I'm a bull on Ethereum. Thanks to, Solidity, their programming language for smart contracts, the future is far and wide. So just understand, when you see on this far end for cryptocurrency in this market capitalization of 20 trillion, if you think that is, pushing it, you have another thing coming. Just wait until this market has maturity. This space is so nascent. We are in the very beginning of a marathon. All right, we are seeing the tokenization of everything. We're going to talk about that in this video, so be sure to stick around. It will be a long one, but I'm sure that you will come out with some valuable information. So right here, over coinmarketcap.com, I like to use coinpaprika.com, and as we can see with Chainlink, its all-time high. We're just getting started, guys. Its all-time high was just under $5 according to this, and they kind of aggregate a sum of various exchanges, and this was back in March of this year. So 72 days ago, it's 23% down from its all-time high. Now, something to note is Tika Tawari. I know it's kind of controversial, but he does have those 5 coins to $5 million now for 2020. I'm aware of what they are. I keep an eye on them, but just understand, they vet these projects to make sure they are legitimate. They make sure that the token is actually necessary. And yes, for some cryptocurrencies that have backing, for example, with Chainlink and the backing of, Oracle, Microsoft, Google Cloud, all of these groups that, kind of Barry was discussing with me this morning as well. And of course, I do my own research as well. Chainlink is probably going to be a massive behemoth in this type of smart contract, decentralized Oracle space. In my mind, there's really no question. The only question is how much and how fast. So right here, just to understand, guys, He picked 5 coins back in the day, and they averaged over a 1,000,000% gain, which means if you put $100 in each of them, $500 total, you could have turned this into $6.5 million. Understand this, the list of gains that he had back in the day. Ethereum was a clear winner he picked. He had Ripple, aka now XRP is what we call it. Ripple's the company. And again, we had another gain. Even Binance Coin, a killer project, absolutely crushing it. In Binance Exchange, Coinbase, you can get Chainlink and purchase it on those exchanges, and I do have those links in the video description if you're a newcomer. And as we can see, Chainlink was the pick for 2019, yet the gain wasn't quite high. Now, what does this tell me? It tells me we are early. The market is moving less and less off of speculation like it used to, and they're only going to be moving in the future predominantly from utility, true use cases, and institutional money. All right. So what's happening is now these gains are kind of seeing this diminishing return effect until utility kicks off. All those bull runs you saw in 2017 with cryptocurrency and, up to that point, that was for the most part speculative and whales moving the market. Granted, whales still control the market now. What happens though is as this economy, this new economy is growing, it's going to become more and more distributed and decentralized and kind of what's the word I'm looking for? I guess more autonomous. All right. So upside is huge. And we're going to be going over a great PowerPoint that was released by Chainlink, their group, their foundation, in May of this month. All right. So I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything, trying to think. All right. So let's kind of go over this briefly. I don't want to bore you with this, but just to kind of give you a quick intro. So what is Chainlink? A beginner's guide to decentralized oracles. So we understand Ethereum went live in 2015, revolutionized what blockchains could bring to enterprise solutions, just like Bitcoin was kind of, 1.0, you can, send value. Well, what's awesome with Ethereum was it really was revolutionary because now it had these smart contract capabilities. You could actually build other tokens and decentralized or distributed applications. We call them dApps. I'll call them dApps for this video. All right. So dApps can actually be built upon them. Now, the cool thing is Chainlink, of course, is able to connect all of this information. And it needs to. There has to be kind of inputs and outputs that are accurate. So what's cool, though, is predominantly, Chainlink's an ERC20 token, but it actually in the future will be agnostic. Let me just pull that up just so I can read that verbatim again. Yep, so currently, and this is from 2018, Chainlink only interfaces with smart contracts on Ethereum's network. And guys, Ethereum's here to stay. I know some people think that these projects are all competing, and I get it, and that's going to drive innovation. Ethereum's not going anywhere. Do you realize how many projects in the cryptocurrency space are built upon it? Ethereum is the bedrock for decentralized applications and smart contracts. I don't think it's going to be replaced entirely. Its market share is here to stay. Just like many people on Shark Tank say, and a lot of angel investors, once an asset reaches even $1 billion market capitalization, it's here to stay. All right? So not financial advice, but I just wanted to share that. So again, Ethereum's here to stay. It is a bedrock for this. The cool thing is, though, with Chainlink, the program will be blockchain agnostic to work with smart contracts on multiple networks. So what does this tell me? Well, there's going to be multiple winners, and maybe their market share will be significantly less than Ethereum, but you have to kind of consider that with, Tezos and its blockchain, Cardano, ADA. You have to look at all these networks and see where it can kind of have a use case, and potentially, maybe Cardano will try to do some decentralized Oracle work as well and take a little market share away. And there's going to be so many groups that they each are going to have their own preferences, right? Just like when you're deciding between an iPhone or an Android, you might have your own preference or your own type of application you want to run. And guess what? Both companies are doing fine. All right. So let me kind of breeze through this. So essentially, guys, we can see, Chainlink, these cubes are essentially connecting the inputs and the outputs. So basically making sure that it's accurate data. So let me see if I can kind of find something that's a little more explanatory. So again, guys, right here with Ethereum powered smart contracts, Vitalik, the creator, and again, he was, sleeping on the founders of Ripple's couch back in the day as well, opened up Pandora's box of use cases for blockchain tech. So the problem is, per their design, smart contracts, kind of these if and then statements that can run automatically without, counterparties, which is awesome. It's all about disintermediation, can only manage data on the blockchain. Their potential, the ability to provide tamper-proof, decentralized applications for uses and the world over is still largely untapped. So there's tons of potential to be unlocked. And guess what? We need connectivity. That is the issue here. And this is exactly what Chainlink is providing. All right. So we can see as many of the smart contract programs build on Ethereum, they lack a bridge to the real world industries they're trying to improve. So again, that bridge to connectivity. Okay, just as XRP is the bridge asset for value itself and that transfer of value between currencies and tokenized assets, you still need the information to be connected as well. The messaging layer is kind of the foundation before you can do settlement. Just like what we talk about on the XRP channel, again, Kevin Cage, XRP, you can search if you want to subscribe there. We talk and make a point that just like messaging, clearing, reconciliation is step 1, step 2 is settlement, where XRP. But with messaging, this is actually going hand in hand with Chainlink. And again, they are partners with Swift, okay? So where Chainlink comes in, smart contract users can use the network's oracles, again, to retrieve data from off-chain application interfaces, APIs, data pools, and other resources and integrate them into the blockchain. So basically, Chainlink takes information that is external to the blockchain, so it's not on the blockchain currently, and it takes it and brings it on the blockchain itself, puts it on chain. So for many of the blockchain protocols out there, oracles like Chainlink will be necessary and are necessary today, guys. But there's really no competition, honestly, to access the data that these protocols need to operate. As such, Chainlink, as its name suggests, the link that connects blockchains to existing infrastructure. Love that. All right, keep going here. So how does Chainlink work before we get into a really cool slideshow? Chainlink's core objective is to bridge on-chain and off-chain ecosystems. Again, bridging, linking, we get it. And it has 2 main architectural components: on-chain infrastructure, off-chain infrastructure. Again, this is just what is Chainlink, a beginner's guide. I'm not going to go through all of this because I don't want to bore you with this. But again, understand it's agnostic, it's flexible, it can survive. All right, they're not building it with a myopic, narrow-sighted viewpoint. They kind of have what's the word? Meritocracy, kind of like the best people, the best projects will win. Similar to Ripple, building XRP on an open level playing field. The best projects will win. All right. And anybody that says, "Oh no, Chainlink will destroy Ethereum, Ethereum will destroy Chainlink, or XRP will destroy both," you guys have a very, very narrow mindset, and wait until you research all of them for several years. Now, I have not researched Chainlink for several years, but I've known of it. Okay? So right here, solving the security issues, we understand the bridges, the nodes, we want the nodes to grow. We understand that obviously a finite number of assets is necessary to prevent, spamming of the network, Sybil attacks, of course, transfer of value and actually bring the value up. Because if the token is worthless, people can just basically spam the network and congest it, and it's going to be very easy to manipulate and control, and that's not the case. So you want the price to also appreciate from that point. All right, talking about the trading history, where to buy Chainlink, again, links in the description. We got BINANCE US, we got Coinbase, we got, honestly, a lot of major exchanges at this point. Where can you store it? Again, we do have the Ledger Nano S wallets down below. That discount will be ending in 2 days, I believe. So check that out. It's 50% off. You guys can even look at a family pack to get for your friends or family. During the bear market, while prices are low, this is the lowest that these wallets, these cold storage wallets, will be. When the bull market comes, when the bull runs come back, expect these wallets to go up in price as always. Happens like clockwork. All right, roadmap and what's to come. Chainlink team does not offer a roadmap. I'll have to look back at that and see what's going on there. And then again, users and industry recognition. Again, World Economic Forum, guys. Remember in Davos, Ripple was there. We had, I believe, Cardano as well. And I don't know if it was IOHK or the Cardano Foundation or Emergo who was there. But interestingly enough, guys, this is where the 1% of the 1% meet to discuss a variety of topics. All right, we can see Swift, we see Gartner, we see Cornell. All right, now let's get into the good stuff. So right here, this is shared by Barry Curley. So thank you, sir. This is BL Curley. All right, give him a follow. Knows his stuff and always points me in the right direction. So I appreciate it regarding Chainlink. So this is Chainlink God. This is a really cool thread, guys. Again, this is a recent presentation by Chainlink. All right, Ready Layer 1 2020, externally connected smart contracts. Let's get into it. All right, so as we can see here, guys, all blockchains suffer from the Oracle problem. From Ethereum to Bitcoin to Hyperledger, FYI. Hyperledger, of course, in the Ethereum Foundation. Hyperledger, specifically in Ripple, created the Interledger Protocol, another mechanism to bridge the ledgers for value. But again, Chainlink is still necessary for the information, as we can see, for accurate, decentralized oracles that do not have an unbiased source of information, okay? Because that exists widely today, and in terms of businesses, I've been saying a lot, we want to create an environment of trust, okay? And today, in the world of business, we have an environment of mutual mistrust. All right, Tezos to Cosmos to Harmony to Kava to Conflux to Polkadot to Zilliqua, however you say it, Zilliqa, to Icon to HBAR to Ontology to Solana and beyond. They all require oracles to get accurate external data. As we can see here, smart contracts are unable to connect with external systems, data feeds, APIs, existing payment systems, okay, Swift, cough, and even other card providers, of course, and any off-chain resources of their own. So there's no connectivity between the real-world events and the blockchains themselves. Okay, and we understand that the blockchains, the variety of use cases, decentralized oracles, logistics, tracking, even just record keeping, storage with the cloud storage, sending of value, all kinds of dApps. They need accurate real-world data and events because they're meant to have use cases with real-world problems and information. So this is a key for every single blockchain that will ever exist. They need to rely on Chainlink, right? So again, almost like that foundation, just like with the Internet of Value, I think Chainlink is going to play a huge role in tandem with Ethereum and XRP. All right, and if you don't think so, do your own research and decide for yourself. So right here, smart contracts, we're going to refer to them as SCs on their own, have zero access to external real-world data they need to execute, including market data, events data, retail payments, bank payments, and more. Okay, so market data, we have New York Stock Exchange, you have Bloomberg, event data, we can have weather, we can have security, we can have, boats and tracking. We can have retail payments in the networks here, Visa, MasterCard, Stripe, PayPal, and then even bank payments themselves. All right, and notice all of these guys we can connect to Ripple as well, no surprise, including PayPal as well. PayPal even has a plugin for Interledger Protocol. Again, sorry if I keep referencing, Ripple, but it's what I see and what I research daily. All right, smart contract space is currently largely defined by creating tokens. For example, during 2017 with the ICO boom, the initial coin offering, and now we can see 2019 with the DEX growth, the decentralized exchange growth. Not because tokens were the goal, but because tokens are a native out-of-the-box functionality of smart contract platforms like Ethereum. So as we can see, we saw 90% tokenization, but really to connect, we only had about 10% of real events. And we kind of need to flip that model on its head. All right, so as we can see here, the vast majority of contractual agreements require external information beyond just ownership, which is the tokenization of those assets. Only smart contracts have secure access to external data. Growth will explode in distribution of tokenization versus real-world events. Related contracts will look very different. So as we can see here, current distribution of smart contracts, we can see 10% real-world events or real events and accurate, data here, and then 90% tokenization. Externally connected contracts, and now we have it flipped essentially to the 80-20. Now we have 80% real-world events and 20% tokenization. So this is the future distribution in 1,000% plus growth of transaction value or volume and value secured. All right? So we need to fix this distribution, flip this model on its head. All right, as we can see here, smart contracts originally started out very simple as multi-signature wallets. Again, it's relatively secure on Bitcoin, which required multiple parties to sign off on a transaction, again, to kind of confirm it. Later, NXT blockchain introduced specialized lower-level protocol opcode smart contracts for more and better functionality. So the initial leap forward to smart contracts, we can see it went from multi-sig, multi-signature, to protocol contracts kind of 1.0 for the most part. All right, now let's keep going. Now we can see this low-level op-based code smart contracts were extremely limited as new opcodes had to be added to the layer 1 protocol itself through a hard fork. Ethereum introduced programmable smart contracts. Again, this is with Solidity. Could be written in Solidity, as it says here, and required no hard fork to deploy. So went from, again, smart contracts 1.0 to tokenization and smart contracts 2.0. All right, very, very cool. The scriptable leap forward. Okay. And again, anybody can do this. Anyone can run nodes. Anyone can kind of create this, which is awesome. It's leveling the playing field and allowing financial inclusion, but also anybody that can program, anybody that wants to be a part of the network. It is allowing anybody and everybody. All right, scriptable smart contracts were much easier to write and could be deployed by anyone, but it was like a computer without an internet connection because you couldn't connect to, the rest of the world, the network. And understand that network effects are powerful. If you were the only one in the world with a cell phone, you couldn't communicate with anybody, so it's worthless. But as your more and more friends get it, it's more valuable to you because you can communicate and get more things done around you. Understand when everyone has a cell phone, you can use this in a business application to communicate in real time. And obviously we understand communication, standardization, interoperability all drive efficiency with the markets, increasing, economic prosperity. You get the gist. All right, so Chainlink, Link introduced decentralized oracles, enabling these same scriptable smart contracts now, this kind of 2.0 smart contracts, to access any and all external data. So now we took these smart contracts, we can have, the data and information, and then Link connects them to the blockchains, okay? Link connects to these payment providers, to the banks, to the retail payments, etc. Do you understand? All right. Now we keep going. Decentralized finance, DeFi, is going to be a behemoth. We understand Ripple's building as well with DeFi. The derivatives market products, we have full-time engineers working on that as well for the XRP ecosystem specifically. But guess what? They still need connection to real and accurate data. Enter Chainlink. Like, these projects are going to be huge. All right, so DeFi has been absolutely exploding in growth. Now $1 billion in total value locked off DeFi Pulse. 90% of DeFi, decentralized finance, and more, and all these groups included, require external oracles to exist. Makes sense. Any products, any dApps, they all still have to interact with the real world events. Right now, smart contracts are actually two separate different parts. First, there's an on-chain code that runs the predefined logic, rules of the dApp. Second is the off-chain oracles for connecting to external data, enterprise systems, traditional fiat ramps or payments, etc. All right. I'm going to kind of speed through this and see. So again, external data, we can see Google, you can see a lot of these groups, New York Stock Exchange, even CoinMarketCap, which again was acquired by BINANCE for almost $400 million. Wasn't necessarily disclosed to the exact dollar amount, but wow, there's going to be big plans for them as well. All right. Next, enterprise systems, Salesforce, Oracle, again, another partnership, Microsoft, DocuSign, all connected with Chainlink as well. For example, DocuSign, of course, we know the founder of DocuSign is the newest advisor to the project following a recent fireside chat. This was earlier in February 2019. Even SAP. We know SAP's helped tons of banks, trial XRP as well. I think they already know, the few key winners in this digital asset space that are coming to be. And yes, it's just like the .com bubble. Keep prices as low as possible, manipulate it as possible for as long as possible. Everyday people lose hope entirely, and then boom. All right. And the question is, when does that occur? Right. And then traditional payments include Citi, Visa, MasterCard, HSBC, Swift, PayPal. All right. We understand, Visa acquired Earthport, RippleNet's partner. We understand MasterCard's working in tandem with them, and also R3. Again, R3 owns at least $1 billion, XRP I'd estimate. Because initially the lawsuit for 5 million XRP, so they plan to use XRP, no question there with Corda Settler, HSBC, Ripple partner, too big to fail. Swift, of course, just messaging, outdated. And I think that Chainlink's really going to complement the Swift network. All right. Next, in order for smart contracts to be fully trustworthy, guys, because again, it's unbiased. Right now, when you're getting a source of information, it can be used to manipulate markets. You can manipulate data to kind of work in your favor for whatever you want to do. And this is a real problem. And you can take a real world example and go as deep as you want with it. So it needs to be secured end to end, from inputs to outputs, I to O, okay? Inputs to outputs, from the beginning to end. Now, if it's just on-chain code that is secure and not, the off-chain code, again, but the input-output is not, the endpoints aren't, then the entire contract's worthless, it's insecure, it, has an issue, you cannot trust it, and it's not useful to anybody in this new type of internet of value, this type of decentralized landscape that we're moving towards. Society is like a pendulum. We go between technology and preferences and even, government types, and, we swing from, centralized to decentralized, back and forth. It's a never-ending dance. All right, now next, smart contracts require input to output of varying types of functionalities. Inputs can range from traditional market data, crypto prices, even think weather, any web API really. Now outputs can range from enterprise systems, traditional payments, crypto payments, which of course is just getting started. Understand that crypto payments will be just as big, if not bigger, than all of these as well, and more. Okay, because enterprise systems and traditional payments are all going to run over digital assets and tokenization. So crypto payments, you guys think this is small? You think, I know you do. A lot of people, newcomers, think that even $1 trillion, $20 trillion is a lot. No, this is going to make the .com bubble look like a blip. All right. So again, we're going to keep going. So connecting any blockchains to all inputs and outputs. So understand the use case and how big this really is. Chainlink's going to connect all of this. We want to have as many nodes on the network as possible. All right. And yes, link the token is necessary for this. You need so much link, or kind of need to hold it to run a node on the network, to my knowledge. Just continuously do this research, guys. It is unbelievable. Let me get a drink of water. All right, so right here, and we're almost done. So Chainlink's approach to reliable and secure oracles, again, kind of that point where you're getting accurate or getting information, connecting, blockchains on and off chain, right? Decentralization, provable, secure nodes, high quality data, crypto economic security, defense in depth, a large open source community connecting any blockchain environments to all inputs and outputs. So you can kind of look at this here. And again, guys, I'm going to have this link in the top of the video description, and you can have also the direct link to this slideshow. I just wanted to include this because Chainlink got here, .eth, or Chainlink got on Twitter, kind of puts it in a little good synopsis for everybody to present. So I wanted to share it. All right. And don't send me any tips. If you send any tips, I'm sure you can contact him and send it to him somehow. And give him a follow on Twitter for all of this, because this is awesome. So again, this hopefully isn't news to you, but centralized oracles are a single point of failure. Exactly why, distributed is kind of the new future. It's decentralized. It doesn't have systemic risks, and there's multiple points of failure. There's resiliency. If something seems to be centralized, they can just get rid of it off the node of the network, and they can decide which nodes are most trusted, okay? And eventually, the biggest groups, the most trustworthy groups will be running nodes. Therefore, you're fostering an ecosystem of trust. All right? Mutual trust, not mutual mistrust. A failure that defeats the whole purpose. So again, if you have one bad node, one bad apple in the group, it kind of ruins everything. But the cool thing is that, you can vote and reach consensus among this as well. So purpose of using smart contracts that run on a decentralized blockchain in the first place, centralized oracles are not a legitimate solution to the oracle problem. Hence, there's not going to be some group or federal oracle project that takes over and just replaces Chainlink. I don't see any competition for Chainlink, sincerely, because it defeats the whole purpose of trust. We're migrating towards transparent DLT. Blockchain is only a subset of DLT. All right, distributed ledger technology is the future. All right, digital assets come included with that, because this is how you not only transfer value, but secure networks as well. You need a finite number. You do and don't for various use cases, but for this specific use case, Link is necessary. Decentralized Oracle network requires many independent Sybil-resistant nodes. Now again, Sybil, guys, for example, I think I pulled it up. So right here, at least in computer security, guys, a Sybil attack is wherein a reputation system, we can see here, reputation systems are programs, algorithms that allow users to rate each other in online communities in order to build trust through reputation. Okay, so it's when a reputation system is subverted, beat and overthrown by creating multiple identities on the network. A reputation system's vulnerability to a Sybil attack depends on how cheaply identities can be generated. All right, remember, this is a role that the tokens and the tokenomics actually play, because as the value increases of, Link, the less, it's going to be more costly to try to overthrow the network. Just like with XRP, with the burn rate for kind of decongesting the network, anyone that tries to hack or overcongest the network ends up spending way too much money, and eventually they can't sustain themselves. So it's a protective mechanism for decentralized types of technologies. So the degree to which the reputation system accepts inputs from entities that do not have a chain of trust linking them to a trusted entity, whether the reputation system treats all entities identically. All right, so hopefully that's kind of a high level understanding of it. And again, Sybil attacks could be carried out in a very cheap way if they are successful and efficient. All right, such systems such as BitTorrent. All right, let's keep going. So right here, understand it is a secure decentralized Oracle network. Requires many independent Sybil resistant nodes who need to come to consensus, aka need to come to agreement, okay, on who to trust, what nodes to trust, what information is reputable. If it seems biased and they're not in consensus, you can find the bad apple within the group. All right, anybody can build their own Chainlink network using nodes, any nodes they desire and deem trustworthy. But this trust barrier will lower with new features and more data. Absolutely. So the more data there is, the higher trust you should have, and it's only going to be picking the best nodes to predict their network. If a node is making some mistake and not getting the most accurate information, it's gone, and only the best will survive. And this is how you're going to basically create a more decentralized, but also more trusted ecosystem, okay? Unbiased is the idea. So the Chainlink market is a permissionless community, okay, open sourced marketplace where any node operator or data provider, sometimes the same entity, can build or can list their services offered, and developers can use this information to build their own Chainlink Oracle network. Right? We have the links and everything here. So again, this link will be in the top of the description. It's an entire thread of where to start if you're a newcomer. Right? Binding service agreements. We can see about this. Cryptographically provable performance. Let me just kind of see. I was reading through some things earlier. Slashing conditions. I mean, it goes very, very deep, guys. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Even I have to do more research. But what I'm saying is, I mean, even mentioned and working and supported with, the World Economic Forum, with Swift, with Google Cloud. Just understand, Chainlink is not a scam. The only question is this. Between gambling and investing is gathering knowledge. If you can gather a lot of supporting evidence that, a project or token or stock or whatever you want to, invest in or precious metal is suppressed or is going to do well in the future, it kind of gets rid of gambling because you understand the timelines, the roadmaps, and where to go. Okay, decentralization at the node operator level is incredibly important, but so is the decentralization at the data source level. Love that. Pulling from a single data source, even from many nodes, is still a single point of failure. So data should be aggregated across many data source APIs. I like that. Okay, connecting everything. So I really like that point, guys. That's very, very interesting. Kind of reminds me of the inputs to outputs, and both ends need to be distributed as well. All right. Putting all this together creates a decentralized Oracle framework that enables truly decentralized finance, DeFi apps that contain no single point of failure, guys. There's tons of resiliency. There's tons of points of trust. It gets more trust as it goes. Kind of like I say with XRP and that flywheel effect. Once it passes that one point of no return, it becomes self-sustaining. Right? Many exchanges, there's many data providers, there's many Chainlink nodes, many reference contracts, many DeFi applications. All right, and remember, we are just getting into the game. There's more and more decentralized finance products being built daily on a variety of projects. So please check that out and look into DeFi because that future will be massive. And it's going to go and work in tandem with the Internet of Value, the IOV. Everything's tokenized, leveling the playing field, allowing you to get, paid instantaneously, invest in projects you want instantaneously, lower fees, less control, 24/7, 365 marketplace, all from your phone or who knows from what. It's just fascinating, right? So again, not only does Chainlink support a multitude of different blockchains for off-chain data to be sold to, but data providers can either run their own Chainlink node directly and or they can sell their APIs. Business as usual, to other Chainlink node operators. Okay, did you catch that? Data providers, they can actually sell or run their own Chainlink node directly or sell the APIs itself to other node operators. All right, do you see where the revenue comes into play? All right, there are currently 31 plus reference data networks powered by Chainlink live on Ethereum mainnet today. This includes some base pairings we can see, crypto, stablecoins, commodities, indices, and more. You can check them out here at feeds.chain.link. All right. And then right here, what this all means. Chainlink is a framework for building decentralized Oracle networks to connect any blockchain to all inputs and outputs by required smart contracts. Flexibility and diversity is key here. Data providers can now sell data to every blockchain. So connecting all blockchains to all inputs and outputs. Right? Do you understand that? And data providers can now sell data to every single blockchain. So data providers are now making money and incentivized to make sure that they're the most decentralized and accurate information. They're now incentivized, instead of doing a vested interest to, chase the money today, they're actually incentivized to be more honest and trustworthy. I love that. All right. And then a great example of what is now possible is a smart crop insurance contract. Multiple weather data sources are read by a decentralized Oracle network and fed into a smart contract on any blockchain. Afterwards, off-chain payments can be triggered in widely accepted formats. All right, smart contract crop insurance. You guys can kind of see this. So again, just one of many, many examples that exist. We have the data provider. You can sell their information connected to the Oracle network. We have decentralized computation here, and then boom, right into off-chain payments as well. Okay, widely, not wildly. Excuse me. It's just a little typo that he had. But again, Chainlink is an idea meritocracy where the best ideas win. Again, if just like XRP, if you can't win on a level playing field and be open, it means you don't deserve to win at all. If there's some government body that comes up and says, no, this isn't fair, we need the Fed coin or a decentralized an Oracle network by the Federal Reserve or whatever group that's most powerful, UN, who knows. That defeats the point, guys, because then they understand that their project or their network wouldn't be good enough to win on its own. So this is the future. This is what's going to happen. I don't think Chainlink is going anywhere. The question is, how much success will it have? Are we seeing, a $10 Chainlink? Are we seeing, a $50 link, a $1,000 link? I know some people, they link holders, they call themselves Marines. Are we going to see that 1,000 or 10K per link someday? Anything's possible. That is all I'm saying. All right. And I'm holding, a portion for life unless, I absolutely need the money, but should be good to go. All right. And that's the thread. Hope you enjoy reading this brain dump, my friends. These are just some incredibly informative slides overall. You can make your own conclusions. The great part is that this is just a tiny fraction of what Chainlink can and will be leveraged for. So guys, like this video, share it around, and let me know if you want me to do future videos on Link and some other projects. I need to kind of see if I see a lot of likes, a lot of shares on Twitter, I will absolutely continue to do this. Again, I appreciate all of you as always, and I will see you in the next video.